All right, if you are interested in doing post-processing with any of your games, you can see that in our Space Shooter game, mine definitely looks a lot different now, or at least a little bit different than the original graphics, much colder and a little bit more contrast there. So to do that post-processing, we tried to do this in class, but obviously had issues. So here is basically the process. So we started off, we went to the Window Package Manager, and found the post-processing down here, installed it, and then that's where we start having issues. But if everything goes smoothly the way it should, hopefully on the other computers, once that is installed, then I can create my post-process object, which is going to contain all of that. And you can see I have all kinds of processing stuff over here. But to get there, what I had to do first was I had to go down to add component, and I had to find the post-process volume. So I added that component. Then once I added that component, all of these effects, all of this stuff was not there yet. Bloom, color grade, that's all stuff that I've added. Let me minimize these. So none of that was there, but I had this button that said add effect. So when I go to add effect, Unity, then here's where you see bloom, color grading, the ones I added. There's many other options here, lens distortion, motion, blur, etc. But the only two that I really played around with on this one were the bloom and the color grading. So I added those, and then once I added those, I started playing around with some of these settings, the intensity and all that, but didn't see anything happening over here. So what I had to do was then create a layer for this post-process and then attach that layer to the main camera, because right now the camera doesn't know that it needs to be doing anything with this process. So what I did for that, with the post-process object selected, I came over here, up here to the top in the inspector for layers, and it probably will not have this post-processing layer created yet. So what you'll need to do is to go to add new layer, create that layer, and then once you have created that layer, then come in here and select that layer. So now I have my post-process layer. Next step, go to the main camera, and I already have it in here, the post-process layer script, but what I had to do was I went to component, did a search for post, and I found the post-process layer. I added that component, and then within that component, the layer was selected as post-processing. Oops, undid it. There we go. Okay, and you can see what happened when I do nothing. There was my original game, and then here's what it looks like with my post-process changes. And then I just went back to the post-process again, started looking at some of the color grading and all the other stuff and playing around. So there's all kinds of things. Best way to learn this stuff though is going to be just to play around and see what each of those does. But that's how you add the post-process scripts to your games.